What is it? 26?
No idea.
26.
No, lost count.
26.
Lost count.
Yeah. Okay, let's do
Do we
this.
keep saying what episode?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't think we should keep saying what episode in like other languages.
Why? We've been doing it, and like I said, it's
Yeah,
kind
but it
of,
seems kind of gimmicky. You know?
I think it's entertaining, or not, it's educational.
Okay. Okay.
Because I don't know Italian, I know some Spanish,
Do you
but
think
Tom
you could
knows
try
Italian.
to do it in a more Spanish dialect then? Like,
But I kind of do,
you know, it's kind of.
Don't you think?
Oh yeah, you sound straight up Mexican to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Never
All right,
mind.
let's go.
You know what? I stand corrected.
You should.
Yeah.
I'll just shut
Let's
up.
do this.
I got it.
Okay. Okay, quiet in the audience, please.
Tuck what hair I
Quiet
have
in the audience, please.
Except for Tom's.
Yeah, Bonnie, we're we're rolling now.
All right, so we're back for episode 26,
26.
26 in Italian. We have, as always, Gunny Matheson,
Girl of the show.
Joe Schmidt, and super excited tonight to have David Silva.
Super Dave.
Super
Dave.
Dave is a $1 million owner, $1 million breeder, and owned $3 million sire Hollywood Tinseltown. So we're
Owns a horse in the Hall of Fame that we know of. There might be more. Miss Tinseltown.
yep. Yeah, there might be more. Don't know, but there's one for sure.
One we know for sure.
So far,
Dave's been an owner and in the game so long, he's probably forgot more than most people know.
I have been in it for quite a while.
Dave, when did you start? What what was your first reining horse experience?
Well, I actually started with Appaloosas in the early, probably in 80, 81. And then I got my first quarter horse, probably was 85, 86.
Why Appaloosas? Did you see a
Well,
picture
we had-
of one or?
No, well, we had, for my kids, we had just Appaloosas for the pleasure and stuff. And then and then so I had a couple of reiners, Appaloosa reiners that, were fun. But to be competitive, I knew I had to step up and go to quarter horses.
No. Did Terry Thompson train those Appaloosas? Because he.
No, I didn't have any from Terry
Oh,
Thompson.
okay. We don't have to talk about who trained it, but I was just curious.
Randy Cutbirth.
Randy
You
Cutbirth
trained
actually,
those
yeah, I
originally,
actually trained a couple of them and, was a coach for a while for me and he
Yeah.
was a good friend of mine actually.
Yeah, that's a good place to start. Randy
Yeah.
was, everybody in the business knew him,
Yeah.
and it's a great, for sure, a great way to get introduced to the industry.
Yeah, Randy was a good guy, he was a good horseman and a great judge. And
Where was that in the country? Was that in
it was actually, Randy was working out of South Windsor, Connecticut.
in Connecticut?
Yeah,
Okay.
Connecticut, yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got, guys like that help. We talk about it all the time about growing the business. When you can get in with somebody and it's a good guy and they take care of you and, you may be ready to make another step, but at least you're ready to make another step and not just saying, you know what, I've had enough of this, I'm out of it. It takes, that's what we talked about before, it takes the trainers promoting the handling people the right way
Yeah,
and handling clients the right way and having a fun experience
yeah.
so did you go from the Appaloosas? So I know you were with Tim a long time ago. You've been
Yeah.
with Tim forever.
Yeah,
Was there somewhere in between your transition from Appaloosas to quarter horses before Tim?
yeah, I had, I did a little bit with Roger Brazo when
Okay.
he was in, in Magog, Canada, and that it probably was a stepping stone. Then I got with Tim.
Yeah, big stepping stone. Because
Yeah.
when I was a kid, Roger, he was a big player. He was right there in the top
Yeah.
5 of the fraternity on several occasions. And
Yeah, and he had that New Twist was a stud that he raised and trained up and did very well on. And then I supplied him with a horse that he did very well. Won the Canadian fraternity and then was second at the Congress against Famous Amos back then, and
Can you remember the horse's name? Not to put you on the spot, but
the horse that he was showing,
yeah.
well, his nickname was Hammerhead.
He was known for his beauty then.
Yeah, he was not gorgeous. He was.
Well, weren't you telling me the other day that Tim said he was just so ugly he didn't want to ride him?
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I had. Tim wasn't too keen on riding him. He says, I can't train this horse up for you. So I ended up sending it to Roger Brazo, and Roger did great with it.
Before you get too far off topic, was the horse a stud or a gelding?
He was a gelding.
Oh, okay. So you didn't keep him a stud. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys made
And he
good
was out of a
decisions
good mare.
He was.
He was out of great footwork.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
that was her first baby. Yeah, and he was a great horse. He showed, back then I think he won over 50,000.
Wow.
Back then that was a lot of money.
That was a ton of money.
We had, we were running for $500 reignings was a big deal back then. Not like now. I mean, if your horse, won 50,000, it was a big deal. Now it's a stepping stone today. I mean.
And where did you go back then? Like, were you Willowbrook? I assume.
Willowbrook, yeah, was a big. That was a nice facility. So we showed a lot there, and then we did. We had a show. We would promote a show in Northampton, Massachusetts, at the fairgrounds up there, and we'd have a show there. And then we'd go to Skowhegan, Maine. There was a show they'd put on up there in the North Country, and but Willowbrook probably was they had a good derby there, and
Right.
it was a nice outdoor pen. That was probably one of the better places to show.
I've just seen pictures of it. It looked.
Oh, it was cool.
I
As
guess
long as the
People
weather was
hung
good.
out up on the hill.
Yeah,
And watched the rain. And
yeah, and the ground was really good. It was like a crushed stone, and even if it rained, you could still
Right,
get
yeah.
along good in that pen.
Yeah.
It just held up really well.
I got to go one time. My brother Scotty and I went out there.
Yeah.
Drove all the way out there, and it was, we were both. I'm a lot younger than I don't know, 12. I'm at least 12 years younger than him.
better looking too.
I should know how old
Yeah.
he is, right? But I don't. So maybe 13 years younger than him. But we drove out there and showed some horses, and it was fun. And what was odd is Willowbrook, it had it was the name, and, we were expecting it to be great, and it was great. But at some point, and I don't know if it was because it was raining or what the situation was, but part of the show got moved inside.
Yeah.
It had the smallest indoor arena.
It was very narrow.
Yeah.
I don't think it was 75 feet wide.
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
wow.
but it was a couple, maybe 200 feet long. But yeah, it was tough to show in that indoor pen. I mean, things came up quick. The walls came up quick when you were showing in there. And that would happen if it rained real bad. We'd have to go and show inside.
Yeah.
And it was not a good pen.
Yeah, it's cool talking about those old reignings, because I didn't so there was a reining out there, what they call it, the big event.
Oh, that was in New York, on the island.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a pretty good deal.
Yeah. So as a kid, I studied the reiner as a kid. Every time the reiner came,
Oh, yeah.
cover to cover, you
Yep.
memorize it. And so it's fun for me, even to go on that reining history
101.
101 on Facebook. It's fun for me to go on there and see some of the old ads, because I remember them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see that ad and it just takes you back in time. You're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that and that and that. Seeing some of, because that's all you thought about at that age, and I was probably, I don't know, I was probably 14, 15, somewhere in that age when I would really started to take an interest in it. And it was, I was that old before I could read, actually. So that's,
He was still studying the pictures.
yeah. 10, I could study the picture. 14,
Yeah.
I could actually read the articles. But that's how we did it in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
took our time, wanted to have a good solid base, and then when you're ready, then
Yeah.
you just
Let's move forward.
moved on. But
So whenever you had these horses with Roger, did he coach you too, or did you have a different coach, or did you just send Roger this horse to ride?
You know, when I would get up there occasionally, you know, he would help me out. But, you know, he didn't do a lot of coaching for me. You know,
Gotcha.
'cause I didn't get up there that often.
Your coach was more local then?
Yeah. Randy probably was, you know, I used to go to Randy's place because it was close by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you stayed riding with Randy even though you had a horse with Roger?
Yeah. And then I had one with, you know, with Tim.
Yeah, when did that bust open, when you started riding with Tim?
Yeah. Well, I remember the first horse I had with Tim was Mr. Sliding Pine. And he just died. He was 34, and I had him I bought him as a 4-year-old, early 4-year-old year.
And you still wanted to have a horse with Tim, even though he wouldn't ride your precious hammerhead.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it didn't offend
He
you.
had high standards.
Huh?
He got high standards
Oh,
for,
okay.
you know, if they they had to be cute, and had to have the look,
Yeah.
you know. And he just said, "No, I can't ride him."
So
Yeah.
what made you decide that's where you wanted to go? What made you decide, and then how did you approach it? How did you get
With
hooked
Tim?
up with Tim?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Mr. Sliding Pine, which was, you know, he was a great pine horse, and I liked the great pines at the time, and Tim had Mr. Sliding Pine. He had bought him at the fraternity, and I called Tim up. It was just before Christmas of the horse's 3-year-old year, and I said, you know, I really like that horse, and I'd like to buy him. And he didn't get to be shown at the fraternity. He wasn't able to be shown. But I did call Tim, and Tim says, well, give me a call right after Christmas, and we'll put up, you know, I'll tell you what the horse would cost and what it would cost to promote him. So after Christmas, I called Tim, and he said, well, this is what it's going to cost to own him, and this is what it's going to cost to campaign him, you know, on an annual basis. I said, okay, let's go for it. So that's what we started out with, and then because I just liked Tim as a trainer from watching him at shows. He just was such a perfectionist, and he was so smooth, you know, in the show pen, that I said, you know, if I'm going to deal with somebody, it's got to be someone like Tim McQuay. So when I went out there, I bought Mr. Sliding Pine and went out there, and I just said, you know, this is going to be where I want to be, and I've been there. Well,
Yeah, it's been 30 years.
it's been over 30 years. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah.
That's got to be close to a record in
Yeah.
our industry.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
staying with a trainer for that long.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you know, anybody in the horse business knows there's a lot of ups and downs, but, you know, we just rode through them, and I've always had just a good time, you know, with Tim, and, you know, and everybody else that's been part of his team. It was always fun to be around.
So,
Yeah, with that being said, though, you're a pretty even keel looking person. Like, I'd love to see you just raging mad.
I don't think you would.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
I actually think
Yeah.
he would just be like, okay, listen,
Well,
you
I
did,
tried-
you did that wrong, do it right, okay, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. You know.
Is that the case, Bonnie?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Because you used to have a trucking company, so he's
Yeah,
probably got
yeah.
guys that he can call. Yeah, you know, if something really
We
needs
tried,
to go
you know.
down.
We try to stay even keel, especially in the horse industry. You know,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
always tried to stay even keel, but I do, you know.
So
I can have a temper.
Let's go off topic and back up a little bit. And I know a little of this story, and I don't know how much David wants to share, but it's super cool about how you got started in your business, in the ice cream business.
Yeah.
I think that's super cool. Tell that if you don't mind.
Well, actually, my dad was in the ice cream business years ago, and then my brother and I decided that, you know, that we would stay in the business, but we had to make it a lot more productive and make it a bigger business, and so we started out, and at the time, Ben Cohen and was Ben and Jerry's and Jerry Greenfield, which is Ben and Jerry's ice cream, you know, came to us and said, you know, we've got a good product that, you know, we think that you guys could do well with, and so we put a deal together and started handling Ben and Jerry's, and and then we also had other premium brands in our portfolio. Anyway, and that's how we got started, and I don't know, we just grew our business and to the point where we had quite a few people working for us, and covered 3 states and had a good time.
Yeah, and you had to take some chances.
Oh yeah. We started. We didn't have any money when we started, and we didn't know any better. We just get up every day and go to work and hope it would all work out. We didn't keep our books very good at the beginning. Because if we did keep good books, we probably would have said, "Woo, we got to get out of this deal."
Yeah. Yeah,
But,
and if I remember right, didn't you walked into Ben and Jerry's? That was a big part of your deal when you guys
Oh
walked
yeah,
in and made your deal.
we cut a deal with those guys, and it was a turning point for us. And it worked out. It was beneficial for Ben and Jerry, and it was very beneficial for our company. When we did get together.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love hearing those stories because
Yeah.
it was just, it's what we can all relate to
Yeah.
because it was just, it started out.
Yeah, we started out pretty much
Rocky.
with nothing, and
Yeah.
and built up a pretty good business, and we were fortunate enough that everything, we worked hard and made it work,
And
had the right products,
gambled.
and gambled. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I had a real good client of mine one time when I was ready to do a deal, and I was being hesitant about doing the deal. It was a big deal for me. It was a real estate deal. And he said, "You know what? You can't save your way to wealth. You got to stick your ass out the window every once in a
Yeah.
while if you want to get there."
Yeah,
And then that made me do a big deal, which led into 5 other big deals. So that was a big part of it. And sometimes you just got to take the gamble.
oh yeah. You got to take a chance, or it won't happen. It won't come to you. You got to reach out and to make it happen.
And you
Yeah.
can't do it in the South Point Casino because they win.
Yeah. I don't know. Bonnie's been doing pretty good.
Yeah,
your wife has
Yeah.
been racking it
Yeah,
it in.
Yeah, she grows money out of slot machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now I have something that I can, not always, because I was at the casino. Last time I was at the South Point, I was sitting at the, what's the table I like to play there with the Hold'em? What's the name of that table?
Ultimate Hold'em?
Ultimate Hold'em. I'm playing Ultimate Hold'em. And the tables are limited how many, last time we were out there because of COVID, like 4 people per table or something. So a seat is at a premium because there's only 2 tables for Ultimate Hold'em. And I didn't want to get up, and for some reason I was out of money. I don't know, I was playing perfectly, but for some reason I didn't have any money left. And Bonnie's walking by, and I said, "You remember this, Bonnie?" Bonnie's walking by, and I said, Bonnie. She walks over and says, "Hey, can I borrow a few hundred?" I'm out. So she doesn't win every time.
Yeah.
But she does do well. I've seen it
Yeah.
firsthand.
This is the first Dave's hearing about that. He thought she was winning this whole time.
Yeah, we never heard about the,
Yeah.
the bad days,
Yeah,
just
the
the
down.
good days.
That's
Yeah,
right, the
all
down
the
days.
ups, not the downs.
Yeah.
Either that or she had a pocket full and just
Yeah, didn't want to
Yeah,
give
me
you.
wasn't
Yeah.
Probably
wasn't a
was
good
going to be too
idea.
big a gamble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, could be that.
yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, the South Point this year was crazy. Did you go?
No.
You went.
No, I would no. I
No,
don't.
No,
But
you
when
stayed
you're
home.
talking about going during COVID, this fall they had the high roller was on?
When did we go? Yeah, we went
Yeah.
to the high roller.
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was kind of fun.
Dag nabbit. See, I
Yep.
didn't swear.
Yeah, you're doing good, Gunny.
Dag nabbit.
Doing good.
Yeah, it was kind of fun because they had the tables limited to less people, and less people's always better for me. Unless it's you guys, of course.
No.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Love that.
Sure.
But anyway, so
We're off topic again, like we're way off topic.
no,
No.
off topic.
I
Great.
forget what horse we were talking about, but
Well, we were talking about when he started with Tim, and so
Yeah.
where does Miss Tinseltown come into play?
Well, we were in Lexington at the horse show when Colleen, I was sitting with Tim and Colleen, and Miss Tinseltown came through the gate. And Colleen said, "Oh, I like that horse. That's a pretty cool little horse." And
Was she a 3-year-old at the
yeah,
time?
yeah, 3-year-old. And so Tim said, "Well, let's go see if it's for sale." So they went down there, and Tim put a deal together and got her bought, and he brought it home. So then I happened to be in Texas not too long after that, and I asked him if he would consider selling her, and he said, "Yeah, if I get to keep her, I'd sell her." And he wasn't too hot on the idea, but I said, "Well, I'd like to own her," and I said, "Of course, she'd stay here and you'd show her." So that's how it all came about, and then so he showed her at the fraternity, and then as a 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and 6-year-old. Well, 4 and 5 at the time. I don't think we didn't have 6 or 7.
4 and 5-year-olds, yeah.
4 and 5, yeah.
That's right.
And and we still have her today. And
Yeah.
but yeah, no. And Tim probably regretted selling it to me, knowing the history. But at the time, but she was a great horse, and she was just a little bag of bones when we bought her.
Yeah.
When Tim first bought her, and but she turned out to be a special horse, and in the right hands.
And she's made you a bunch of special horses on top.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We've had, she's produced quite a few babies and Hollywood Dunnets and Gunners, and they've been good horses. And but with horses, it's having them with the right people, as you know.
Yeah, for sure.
And she was, she was a feely, looky kind of horse. Not everybody would be able to ride or show a horse like her. She was just that feely and so looky.
Yeah.
But Tim was, they just got along so well because Tim likes those kind of horses. And, he sits up there so quiet and he's got such a great feel.
Yeah.
And that worked beautiful for her.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and he won the NRBC when it was
Yeah.
in Guthrie, right?
in Guthrie, yeah.
The late heat.
And he marked the 33, and that was, he held the record for the highest score for quite a few years.
Yeah, that was a crazy good run.
Yeah, he did a great job. Yeah, that's one of my highlights actually in the horse business is that the run Tim had at NRBC then, and then Gunner's Tinseltown at the fraternity, being reserved.
Right.
And those were two really special moments for me in the industry.
Right. And that mare was such a big stopper.
Yeah,
such a big stopper.
she was kind of freaky back then for a mare to be as strong and powerful as she was.
Yeah, and I got the opportunity a couple of times at home to ride Gunner's Tinseltown, and man, that was running and stopping him was like an incredible feel. I mean, just a freaky good feel.
Yeah, he was powerful.
And I rode a lot of big stoppers in my lifetime, and that horse, I mean, it was a freaky good feel. That horse could really stop. So, yeah, he was impressive. I really liked that horse.
And the year that Gunner's Tinseltown was reserved, you raised the fraternity champion also, right?
Yeah, and the horse that actually, the horse
Casey
that
Derry.
Casey Derry.
Yeah.
I
Sold
yeah,
in the fraternity system.
I sold him that as a 2-year-old, and so it was a great year for me. My horse was second. Casey Derry won it on the mare that I raised, and then that was the first year we had the incentive program there and so it worked out well. I mean, how do you
So
duplicate
you got
that?
3% of first and second.
Yeah, how do you duplicate that? That doesn't happen very often. That you go to a horse show, a fraternity, and have the horse that won it and the horse that was reserved. I mean, that doesn't happen very often.
No, for sure.
And it may never happen again for me. Who knows? But
And speaking of that, so here's another one of these. We've had this discussion with another guest. Here's one of the things that frustrates me is $1 million owner, $1 million breeder, owns a $3 million sire, Hall of Fame mare, been in the industry and supported the industry at
For
every level,
Yeah.
at
Yes.
every single level for 40 years. And this industry isn't where it is today without guys like David, and not in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it just is, to me, another one of those things that is just, I don't understand it. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Like what more
Yeah.
would somebody have to contribute to get that acknowledgement? So
Yeah.
either there's something wrong with our election process or selection process, or there's something wrong with the criteria that they're looking for in there.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, what else you gotta do?
yeah.
Well, there's obviously something wrong with it, you know, as we've talked before, there's a flaw somewhere, and I think it just needs to be looked at and revamped. I don't think it's an intentional flaw. I think it's just one of those things that there's other things that in their minds that are maybe more important that they're looking at right now. But I don't think, in my mind, that's a mistake, because there's nothing more important than the guys that are the building blocks to where we are today. And there's really not any names that you could think of that are more important in building the reining horse business to where it is today than David on every level.
On every level.
On every level. I mean, supporting the little shows, supporting the big shows, sponsors everywhere. And it's not about,
And he stays even keel at every horse show you go to. You've never seen him pissed off.
Right.
I've never have. I mean,
no, you don't see him throwing shit in the office. Don't you know who I am?
That's right. I'm Dave Silva.
David Silva. Don't you screw. Maybe that's why, if he was a Hall of Famer, maybe he would do that.
Yeah, well, maybe it's Bonnie's fault.
Yeah.
Maybe Bonnie's going in there
Yeah.
and raising hell.
Yeah.
That's what it is, I bet you.
Either that or she's telling him, don't you make him a Hall of Famer? Because he's going, don't you know, buddy, I'm a
That's
Hall
right.
of Famer.
Walker, you see this jacket?
Yeah.
It says Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, you can't let that stuff go to your head, you know, and you can't let that stuff bother you. I mean, you know, I always believe that, you know, sooner or later it'll come your way if you're deserving of it, you know, but,
It'll come your way.
yeah.
It'll definitely come your way. I mean, it can't not. I mean, I don't know any way that he can't be in the Hall of Fame. I just don't. I mean, that's,
well, and it's not like that was your goal whenever you set out to do this. You just,
Right.
you're involved in the game for the love of the game,
Exactly.
for the love of horses, competing, your friends.
Yeah,
You know, there's lots of reasons. It's not.
I mean, that's how I met you, Gunny,
That's
right?
right. That's right.
I mean, way back when you were
Yeah.
with that guy Steve Archer.
Yeah.
He was, huh?
Speaking of a good guy, Steve Archer's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, Steve's
Yeah.
a great guy.
Steve's
And
another one of those guys that has brought a lot of people into the business.
Yeah,
Been super good and supportive and brought a lot of young people into the business.
Yeah.
yeah, he's worked with a lot of youth over the years and brought them in. Yeah,
And he actually trained the mare the mother to Casey Deary's fraternity champion. Bet y'all didn't know that.
Did not know that.
Didn't know that.
See, don't do it. Steve Archer had her.
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Did Dell
how I
have
did
her
it.
at some point?
No,
Never.
no, but he had a mare that had a similar name. Yeah, that's what you're thinking of, I think.
What was Dell's mare's name?
It was something. It was a
It
little,
doesn't
it was
matter
a
what
little
Dell's name
Palomino mare.
mare was. She didn't produce fraternity
Well,
champion.
I know, but you know, when I look at Mandy and ask a question, I expect an answer. And I'm getting nothing.
Nothing. It was a little Palomino, wasn't
It's
it?
a little bit, the look I'm
a li-
getting, it's a little bit of I don't know.
Seed had done it. Seed had done it. See?
Took a
Nut
little
rash for
longer.
cash.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So, speaking of even keel David actually let me show a horse for him one time. And I just so happened to spin 4.5 times and I stopped facing the wrong way. And speaking of David's even keeled nature, I walked back to my tack stall and obliterated one of my tack boxes. I just destroyed it. You know, very quietly to myself. You ever done anything like that, Dave? Did you know that cost me a tack trunk? That
No,
mistake?
I didn't know that, no.
Killed that tack trunk.
I didn't walk back there right away after the show. I just said, I'll let things simmer out and, yeah, no, I wasn't aware of that.
And what horse was that?
It was
It was the one we call Rosie.
No, we called her Bonnie.
Oh, Bonnie, I mean.
wasn't it a?
The Dun.
No.
It was
Was-
a red dun
The
mare.
red dun
Real
mare,
pretty
we
red
called
dun
her
mare.
Bonnie. I don't
No.
remember her showing
It
it,
was-
but we called her Bonnie.
I don't remember what her name was, but she
Oh,
cost me
yeah,
a
we called her
box.
Bonnie. You're right, yeah.
She cost me a box. I did not stay, even keeled that afternoon.
Have you ever done anything like that? Throwing anything had a little bit of a come apart?
I've had my moments. Yeah.
Just not at a horse show.
I try not
And
to.
not in public.
Yeah, I try, well, a couple times in public, but I try to behave in the horse shows.
I've seen it. I've seen it simmering in you. I
there
know-
was
I
there
know
was a
there-
time where I got just a little upset, but I try to control myself.
Joe, any moments? Any moments like that?
That I've had?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't think so. No, I'd say pretty even. I think. I don't think I freak out too very often.
The look on Megan's
Oh, yeah, Megan's like, yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think I've
I
ever
don't
seen.
think I lose it too much.
No, because I've seen Joe be like really mad, and he just repetitively says, "That's so dumb."
Yeah, so stuck it. Yeah.
So
That guy's so
Like,
stupid.
quietly-
See how stupid that guy is?
Quietly,
No, I
he
mean, do you
says-
see how stupid that guy
Yeah,
is?
quietly, he says that to himself like 35 times.
Yeah, I could see that, but no, I don't usually. I've seen you lose it.
No, I'm very calm.
No, you're a lot better now, but you used to throw the shafts and go back to the tack room and you'd hear him kicking the walls.
I've
And,
had a few episodes.
yeah.
Few episodes. You know the best thing you can do when that happens is Red Solo Cup.
Red Solo Cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is the cure no matter what. Especially if it's in the finals. You're going home the next. If it's in a go around, takes a lot of Red Solo Cups. But if it's in the finals, Red Solo Cup it and go home and start over.
I agree.
Like, threw his shafts on the ground after the fraternity finals. They went,
Yeah, I didn't see that.
And we know this because we've had our fair share of red solo cups in those finals.
Yeah.
Yes, we have. There's usually.
when he showed Shining at Night's mother, in the finals, the open fraternity, he came out and threw his shafts on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, your shops usually take a beating when you get mad.
I've matured a lot.
Yeah, no, tons. But it's
Yeah.
usually fast.
It comes
It's
with
over.
age.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
It comes with age. You mellow out. You just,
Well, now you had.
I'm just glad to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. That's
When I
right.
go to a reining now and come out, I just said,
Yeah.
I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah.
That's not wrong either.
No.
It's not wrong. It's like, everything changes. It's like, let's just enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Because after it's over, all you got is the memory. So you got to enjoy the moment. Right?
Well, now, and being in the horse industry as long as you have, we always talk about like the deal. You know that it's not always going to be ups. And we've talked about that before. People that come in hot and heavy, and then they have a good year, and then they have a bad year, and then they're out. Like how do you, throughout the years, what kept you in it and not being so affected by times that didn't work out?
I think it's just for the love of the sport. I mean, you got to really, take it to heart and really just want to be involved. Love of the animal and being with the right people. You just say, well, this was a bad deal today, but it'll be better tomorrow. You need staying power. You got to be committed. And I think one of the biggest problems is people jump around from trainer to trainer. I always figure if you can get with a trainer that treats you right, and you're honest and he's honest, and he's got the ability, why do you want to go elsewhere? That's my philosophy. If they can produce for you, why do you want to keep jumping around? And I think that's a bad thing when people just jump from trainer to trainer. They get a bad title. People say, well, he's with everybody.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I was with the best. Why would I want to go anywhere else?
Right.
You know, I started at the top fortune. I learned a long time ago. If you're not good at everything, surround yourself with the best people you can find. And I've done that in my business, and I did it. I used that same thing in the horse business. I said, you know what? If I'm going to do this and want to be successful at it, I got to get with the right people. And how do you beat Tim McQuay?
Yeah,
You can't
for
mention reining without saying Tim. You know, that's Tim McQuay.
For sure.
And anybody can dispute. Nobody can dispute that fact.
Yeah.
You know.
And beyond the fact of what it was in the show pen, he helped you build a really good, broodmare band and the whole thing. And I think too, the lifestyle is part of it, right? I mean,
Oh, there's no question.
you have an amazing place in Pilot Point. I mean, it's beautiful. Have you been there, Gunny?
Oh, yeah.
I know Joe's been there, so it's, I mean, absolutely beautiful. And I would tell anybody that comes to town, you don't mind if people come to your house.
Do not go to David.
That's right.
Visitors are not
There's a
welcome.
gate. There's a gate.
Call first.
Yeah, please call first. It is
For the
sometimes.
gate code. And if Dave likes you, then he may give you the gate code.
Yeah.
But I would take the chance because it is a beautiful. It's got
Yeah.
a beautiful place.
It's a functional place. You know.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, they raise horses and sell them out of there, so I'm sure
Yeah,
everybody's
you know.
welcome.
That's right.
Well, now the other day I drove by and there was a car going in, like kind of stopped in the driveway before the gate. And it looked like a car didn't really, hadn't seen it before. So I thought, well, maybe it's one of Dave's workers, but it was kind of funky time. So I drove by.
Are you profiling a car wreck?
Well, a little bit, little bit. So then I came back a couple hours later, and Dave said that some guy just happened to drive in. It was an older guy.
Yeah, real old.
And was talking to him for like an hour, just random stuff. Dave's like, man, I got things to do. And I'm like, you didn't know him? He goes, no, he just drove in. And he was just trying to be
wanted
polite.
He wanted someone to talk to. He was probably close to 90, this fellow. And he just wanted someone to talk to. And I said, I can relate. So I just, we just had a great conversation. I'm saying, I really should be getting some work done. But I said, this guy needs a little bit of my time. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to give him a little bit of my time. And he left. He was a happy guy. He got someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And he turned his car around, drove out the driveway.
And as far as you can tell, nothing's missing from you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now he has the gate code.
That's right.
Did we advertise ahead of time that David was going to be here? Or- so you're safe tonight.
Yeah. All the gates closed now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we drove in the other day. Mandy and I were delivering
Christmas.
Christmas presents. That's right. And Dave's down there.
You gave me a Christmas present?
No, just Bonnie.
Just funny. Yeah.
We did tell her she didn't have to share.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, but we drove in and it was not warm. I mean, it was chilly-ish. It was the day before Christmas or two, somewhere in there. And Dave's out there working. I don't know if you had a broken water line or something. You were out there.
Raking leaves.
Oh, you were raking leaves.
Well, actually, we had just put in an outdoor light for the brood mares. And I
that's
was
right.
kind of like covering up the trench. I was backfilling the trench with a rake.
Yeah.
Finishing it up.
Yeah, and that's to me, that's one of the coolest things. Like, okay, you've done well in your business,
Yeah.
and you're retired now. Basically, you're retired from the business, but not retired from working.
I probably put in 60, 70 hours now, but I'm retired.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just a labor of love. I guess that's the right way to put it, huh?
Yeah. Well, and
I like doing it.
I think
Yeah.
that's what's so cool about it is you're still out there doing it. You're still going and rolling and being a part of the running your place. And I know you're one of my first phone calls if anything's not working on my bus. It's like, I have to check engine lights on.
What do I do?
You're in trouble.
Yeah. Anytime something's going wrong. And, he came over and I had an issue inside once and he comes over and he just I said, I don't know how to get this fixed. And then he just slams her around and bam, it's fixed. And I'm like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
So you've had a lot of, I mean, and I know I'm not the only one. I know you're handy around on the mechanical side of things. And
Yeah.
Your son would have gone without heat in his camper if it wasn't for David at the fraternity.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and you need
That's
you
right.
need propane
Yeah.
To run the
to
heater.
get heat.
Yeah, Cade doesn't know that.
Yeah. So you do have to have propane.
Well, now you understand. Cade's mentality is me ride horse.
Yeah.
That's it. Me ride horse, and he doesn't know anything about it.
It's okay. Cade, ride my horse.
Yeah.
I'll go get the
Propane.
because it worked out well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's fine. Anytime he needs propane, I'll get the propane. He rides my
the
horse, gets it shown. We'll be fine. And even maybe he could, tune up my horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
That's right.
if he didn't have to go propane, he would tune up your horse. I promise you. That's not a problem. Yeah, it's funny how he got that new camper this year, and any of us that have camped, I know for sure you have, and you've stayed with Cade in his new camper.
Yeah.
And,
Did you have any heat?
No, we had heat. We didn't have a refrigerator for a while.
Yeah, well, that takes propane too
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
of times,
No, and then the one day came in and it was hot in there, and he had turned the air conditioning off in the middle of, what was it, July or
Yeah.
August?
Oh, that's,
And I'm like, dude, it's hot in here. Oh, I turned the air conditioner off for a while. Yeah, didn't turn it back on. So
Yeah,
it's
no.
pretty good with that.
No, I have completely failed on my child for everything other than me ride horse.
Yeah, that part you did good though.
That he's very good at, but everything else,
Yeah,
not so
That's
good.
not true. Now he does me do E-Trade too.
Oh yeah, he likes.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a healthy habit. He's
Trading stocks.
oh yeah, he's
Oh,
day
boy.
trading on E-Trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, and spends a lot of time on the sports book.
Yeah.
He's but the worst part is he's doing really he's
Doing
up
good,
on both. Yeah. I'm like, be careful, just be careful. But yeah, he loves the But I mean, you guys know how much he follows the sports. I mean, he knows every player and every team and who's hurt and who's not. He loves betting on those on that sports and that. I mean, and then the E-Trade, and he's so
Yeah.
he'll lose enough money. He'll have to keep riding your horses.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Sooner or later, they'll get it from you, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's
Well, we kind of lost track of horses. I mean, we left off at Miss Tinseltown, but you've had so many horses that
Well,
have been.
what she's produced. Then you come up with Hollywood Tinseltown and Gunner's Tinseltown, and so
She's produced more than those two.
Yeah.
Was it downtown Tinseltown?
Yeah.
Or-
Hollywood downtown. Yeah. Yeah, he
Done
was
in
good.
Tinseltown.
Done it in Tinseltown, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he had, she produced some really, really good horses for us. We've been fortunate.
And your latest win, I guess it wasn't really a win, but you did well, was a Hollywood's Tinseltown out of a gunner mare that you guys bought. That he was just fifth in the fraternity on, right?
Yeah.
What's that horse's name?
There's Rocky. What's his name?
Well, we call him
Boomer.
Boomer. That's his nickname,
Rocky's the other horse.
Boomer. Gunnerstown is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So buy a stud that Miss Tinseltown ended up making for you, kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of comes back to home a little bit.
Yep.
What are some of your favorite horses that you've gotten to show?
Yeah, did you ever get to show Miss Tinseltown?
No.
Hollywood's Tinseltown.
No.
Gunner's Tinseltown?
No. No.
Do you want me to talk to Tim or do you want to talk to him? Even keel, right?
Yeah. You know
You got
what?
to show Country done it.
Huh?
You got to show Country done it once.
Yeah, once.
What the hell was that?
Wow, that was
was
an
fast.
experience. That was fast. Yeah.
That horse had so much feel.
Oh my God, she was feely. He was so feely, that horse. Ooh. Yeah, he was pretty wired. I don't know if I didn't know where the heck I ended up turning that horse around.
I did that once.
Yeah,
I did that once.
It was that was an experience though, that horse, when I went and show it. Everybody's watching that,
Yeah.
and that thing turned around like a blur. I was like, was that 5? Was that 10? I don't,
It was stunning.
no idea. And he could get ahead of you now, that horse. He was pretty high powered.
Yeah, that was a good horse.
Yeah.
He could do a ton.
Yeah.
Was there any other ones that you remember being favorite, like that you rode?
I've had a lot of nice horses that I rode, but
But the great ones, everybody
Everybody else
else,
got
right?
to ride.
yeah. Actually, one of the best horses I ever rode was that gelding that Tim wouldn't ride. And we called
He's a piece of
Hammerhead.
work.
He's a piece of work. That was his name. But he was just a fun horse to ride.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, I did a lot with him. But back then we were running for peanuts.
Yeah.
$100 reining, $500 was a big deal.
Yeah.
But he was a good horse.
Yeah, actually, Frank Amabile texted me the results of a show that he had judged in 1975. And the winner of the amateur reining got $53 and $33 per second. But it was cool to see, like the amateur reining, Pat Feuerstein won with a 146.
Wow.
It's just cool to see a sheet of paper with somebody that is in the Hall of Fame on it.
Yeah.
Before any of that was a glimmer of hope. That was pretty cool.
It's super cool. I mean, for me, and this is before your time. I don't know how much you were into it, but because there was more options when you were of that age where you'd be into that. When I was a kid, there was 3 TV channels.
Yeah.
And you were just waiting for the rainer to come because that was your only source of information. And you just study it, and then you
Couldn't you go on the internet?
No.
Yeah.
Nope, couldn't go on the internet.
Well, could you look on your phone?
Yeah, no. I had the rotary dial phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You screw up and have to start over.
Yeah,
all over again.
Last one, and your finger slips out of the little.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, reading, it's just nostalgic to me to see those, the stuff that people post on there. When you see the old print, the old font of how everything was, the ads were done. They were so simple compared to what we do now.
Yeah.
I mean, simple, but still really cool. That vintage stop and picture with just the big stud fee here. And, I mean, it was cool. And it's still fun for me to look back. And I don't know, for sure, I don't know that those weren't better times. I mean, there's kids, there's 15, 16-year-old kids now that 30 years from now are going to say, man, that was fun. I remember the show. I remember Gunny, Joe, and Tom doing the show. That was great.
Yeah.
You don't think so?
I don't know. I think we need a few more shows.
We need some more practice.
Couple more seasons.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just in my head. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
And but I mean,
Well, speaking about that, like we've done show 26, so like we're coming up to the end of season 3.
Yeah. I don't
Shows a
know.
season.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
Karate Kid. I mean Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. That's right. Yeah.
So, David, what's one of your favorite horse shows to go to?
Oh, my favorite horse show is probably the NRBC.
How many times has one of your horse won that? By the way, is there any reason why that would be your favorite?
Well,
Not to spell it out.
we've
for
done
anybody.
well there, but besides that, what I like about it is it's a big pen, and you've got horses that are, coming, after the fraternity, like your young horses, the 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds, and, I mean, it's so competitive, and the quality is always superb there. I mean, I think it's our best show of the year, as far as for the quality, and it's so competitive there. The 3-year-olds, a lot of horses struggle to get to the finals, and then I think our finals are, there's only a few horses that can really be salty enough to make it and be really impressive in the finals at the fraternity.
Yeah.
But when you go to the NRBC now, those horses, the young ones, the 4-year-olds, have had time to rest up, and then of course you've got your 5 and 6 and 7s now. So I mean, it's just, to me, it's just so dynamic, and the horsepower is just, I don't think you can have a better show than what you can have at the
I think it's
NRBC.
a lot of people's favorite horse show.
Yeah.
It seems like the weather just breaks from being, people
Yeah.
being
Yeah,
cold,
early in April,
but
yeah,
it's not too hot
Yeah.
down there in Katy.
Yeah.
And everything's green, it's just outside,
yeah.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite atmosphere.
Yeah, it's just, it's the time of the year, and it's just watching those horses, and like I said, every year they just seem to be stronger and get better every year.
You get excited to go to the horse shows? The bigger
Yeah,
shows?
the big shows, yeah, I
Yeah.
do. I like to watch, I like to watch a real good competitive reining, and the quality is so good today, I mean,
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, I mean, us too, we have the camper, and I know that makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you can go and park right on the facility and have all your own stuff and,
Yeah, I think it takes, it makes it so much more pleasant if you
Yeah.
can have, a place to get out of the elements, whether it's too hot, too cold,
Yeah.
or just to take a break. So, yeah, no, I like having,
and at the fraternity,
Camper.
Bonnie can make something for lunch for everybody.
Yeah.
yeah.
We like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so it does come in handy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's super handy.
So this year, you're probably gonna show Boomer at the fraternity, right? Since we're gonna change this and have
the
you start
NRBC?
showing.
At the
you know,
NRBC, you mean?
At the NRBC,
Yeah, there's a couple of them I wouldn't mind showing.
Yeah.
I've got a couple Palominos that are
Yeah.
kind of nice horses.
Just gonna wait a little while to tell Kate.
Yeah, I just got to sneak them out of the barn before Kate gets
I
there
wouldn't
someday.
sneak him out, I'd just say, hey,
Put the hammer
You know,
down and say, oh,
you're-
Yeah, I'm about to be in the Hall of Fame.
You're
I'd like my
yeah.
horse.
you're showing him on Wednesday, sorry, Pard, I'm showing him on Monday.
well, you know what? I think maybe we need to talk, huh?
I'll talk to him, we'll talk to him.
Okay, we'll do
I
that.
got his phone number.
Okay, we'll talk.
Joe's his friend.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
That's right.
What do you think's the biggest difference between the reining now and the reining? Not the quality of runs, because we know the styles have changed and the quality's changed and that. But as far as the overall, the atmosphere of the shows and from what it used to be to now, what do you think is the biggest difference?
I think, well, besides the quality of horses being so good, the training is so much better now, and the facilities, I think there's more attention paid to having good ground.
Right.
And having accommodations. So I think that's improved so much over the years. Let's face it, you got to have good ground to have good stopping. Horses have to be able to stop, and I think we've come a long way in that, in the training. Nowadays you don't see horses throwing their heads up in the air, running to a stop and anything. So.
Oh, you didn't watch the blooper episode.
Yeah.
But it's a rare.
Or Gunny's horse the other day.
Gunny gets a few of them where they do that, but other than Gunny, you don't see a lot of that
Yeah,
anymore.
but they run down there and +1 it after I'm done, I mean, it just adds a little drama.
Yeah, this is true. But yeah, no, I think that, there's just, we got better facilities, better training, and, let's face it, the breeding programs today, we're making,
Incredible.
we
Yeah.
got, the horses just keep getting better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's what makes it so great now. And I think what's really helped is by having, being able to run with a 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's helped our industry a lot. And, I don't think we can say enough about the NRBC, getting that thing rolling, what it's done for our industry, as far as the money, promoting, getting the money up there with where
Yeah.
it needed to be. I mean,
I feel it put a lot of pressure on the Derby
there's no question.
to
I mean,
step up and.
yeah, the NRHA had to respond after the NRBC got started. They had to say,
Right.
they didn't want to be, left behind. And
Yeah.
so they've always, tried to catch up, with
Right.
the 6 and 7-year-olds.
Well, here's a reverse question to I guess what Tom asked. What would there be something you would change about our industry or our horse shows now?
I think we can improve on our judging,
Okay.
truthfully. And I know you guys may think I'm crazy, but I think we need to go instead of just half increments, I think we should do quarter increments. In other words, how many horses have you guys seen turning around that it's better than a half, but it's not a 1? So why can't we say, well,
And-
that's a .75
Plus a quarter, yeah.
plus 3/4? And,
And I would-
and every maneuver, and I've mentioned that, and it goes in one ear and out the other to different
Well,
people.
I guess the only argument that I'd have there, David, to be honest with you, is we have a system right now where there's 7 scores that they could use from a -1.5 to a +1.5 and a
Yeah.
0, and they only use +half, 0, -half. Seems like the +1 and the plus, like we have a bigger scale that's not being used now, so why
Maybe
make
that
the
would
scale-
help. Would that separate? I'm just saying, we need to separate more.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, and it's, you know what,
Yeah.
We found-
being a judge, it is something that gets discussed and hammered out, in a lot of those judges seminars every year, multiple times a year, so I'm sure that they're,
Well, because that's how we talk when we're watching. We go, it's plus a quarter,
yeah,
you know, or plus 3/4,
yeah.
you know, because
Well,
that is how what we say when we're watching it.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen every maneuver. You can say, well, it's not a 1, but
But you want to pay them.
But yeah,
Well,
so I don't know.
Theoretically, if somebody goes out there and turns a low end half, it's a half, and a high end half is a half, there's really a half point difference between the low end and the high end. So I know what David's saying, but I know what you're saying
Yeah.
too. Use the 1 and the 1.5
Half more.
and more. And
Yeah, well,
and
it doesn't seem to happen though.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. And I can tell you from what to me gives a little bit of merit to what you're saying. I think when judges, my experience over the years is the higher the scores, the more room for error on the judges. Probably the best reining I've seen over the years is as far as having the proper order 1 through 10 or 1 through 5 are the reining where somebody marked a 225 to win it or 226 and not a 233. Because I don't know why, but I think it's almost a little trickier for them sometimes to stay hooked when they're going 1, 1, 1. I think sometimes it gets, and that's just my experience of
Yeah.
seeing it. The higher the scores, the more they have a tendency to maybe
Get wild.
get wild and maybe then a run that's not
I
as
think
good.
the more education that happens, the more judges will be able to use the whole sit scale, the more they'll get it right using the whole scale. Because there were certainly some +1 maneuvers at the Viturity that were +half. And that I disagree with. I mean,
Yeah.
your horse being one of them, to me, there could have been 4 +1 maneuvers on his pattern, but he marked a 221. I don't know how I could see it and mark 4 +1 maneuvers, but and just get him to a 21, the math doesn't add up. So I don't know. But
That part's tricky, but I know it's not anymore. It's not the NRHA.
Yeah.
Now, it is under the roof of the NRHA, but now there is a bunch of the right people in the right places. Now we have people that are have participated, are participating, that are, making the decisions and running those seminars. And I think the intentions are great. I think it's tricky when there's human.
Yeah.
There's
The human elements
element.
involved.
Yes.
Yeah,
And it
there's no
doesn't
question.
emotions, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it doesn't matter how many times I know the 3 of us anyway are all fight fans, and you guys come over and we'll watch an MMA fight. And, 2 guys will score it 2 rounds to 1 for one guy, and the other guy, the third judge will have it 3 rounds to 0 for the other guy. And you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to cheat anybody out of anything.
Yeah.
But I think it's
So
just,
different.
yeah, it's tricky. And I think we all have, when we're watching a finals, I think we have the best seat in the house. I think the judges have the hardest seat to judge a reining from, being right on top of it. I
Yeah.
think that's the hardest place to judge it from. And I'm not saying I have any any answers to what you do about that. But I think in fairness, sometimes things can look really different. And if we're sitting, up towards the top or in that second, if we're at Oklahoma City and sitting behind the
box seats.
concourse there, I don't know that's what you call it, but the walkway. If we're in that second
I
tier,
think that's called the concourse.
Behind
no, the
box seats.
concourse is where all the vendors are down below.
If you're sitting
there's
behind
a-
the walkway in between the box seats and the up those seats,
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're sitting there, you can see every rundown.
yeah.
You can see everything pretty clear. Whereas if you're in that third hole on the side and you look down, you can't see that horse that's running away from you. You can't see him as good. So
Yeah.
I think,
It's tough.
it's tough. And all things considered, I think we see less huge mistakes today than we did 10 years ago.
yeah,
I think 10 years ago, there was instances where the top guys would automatically get marked more than probably what they had coming. We don't see that as much anymore. Now, one thing, those top guys don't stand out like they used to. Now there's 50
a lot more of
guys, instead of 10. And I can remember, and you'll remember this, when I first started going to the fraternity, there was Loom and Tim and Craig and BH. There was 5 guys. If they didn't fall off their horse,
Yeah.
they were going to make the finals.
yeah.
And I saw Craig Johnson run down on, I can't remember what horse. I can't remember. Yeah, I can actually remember, but I'm not going to say it. I don't. Yeah. But his horse ran down. He said, "Whoa!" and the thing stuck its head up and went all the way to the gate. Well, today you'd be done.
Yeah.
Well, he made the finals, and I mean nothing against Craig. I mean he's as good as anybody that ever did this, but it's
Different now.
it's different now. You can't do that now. There's so many good guys and so many good horses. And now no matter who you are, if you go have a subpar run, 99%, we still see it. We still see it. The judges get tricked from time to time. And I think it's one of the toughest issues we run into, like at the fraternity, more than any, is all the guys that are generally out participating at the highest level are not judging that show.
Yeah.
That it's a hard show to get guys that have that experience, of been there, done that, where you can go to Lexington, Virginia, you can go to Reining by the Bay, you can go to some of these smaller shows that are earlier,
Yeah.
and they can get Gunny and Joe and Tim McQuay to go judge it.
Yeah.
And the Rocky Mountain, any of those small. But once you get to the fraternity, these guys are off the
Oh,
table.
riding. Yeah. Everyone's showing.
And I think every judge walks in there and sits in that chair with the intention to be as good as they can be that day. And hopefully they're nervous. Hopefully, if you
No.
guys tell me you judge, you
No.
get nervous.
No, yeah, absolutely. It's like showing.
Yeah.
Oh, and probably, I'll bet, I think I get more nervous judging, because I know what it's, it could be make or break for somebody.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think that's why we take it so serious. And that's one of the reasons I didn't want to get my card, because I didn't want to make a mistake. And Ann told me, she goes, that's why you need to get it.
I think that's right. Couldn't agree more.
I guess I got one last question because I can't think any more questions to ask. But what's next now, David? I mean, you accomplished just about everything there is to accomplish in this business. What's next?
Well, he's got to get the other half of the arena lights up. He's only got part of them. The other group just got there today, and he was on the scissor lift this morning.
You didn't
on the
have lights in
telehandler.
indoor?
Oh, he
Well,
did. He's
I-
putting new LEDs in.
Well,
You got
Tom,
LEDs.
yeah,
Yes.
Tom put those new lights up. I said, now I gotta
Yeah.
change my light.
Yeah.
And you measure yours in lumens and
No,
he measures
foot
his
candles.
Yeah.
Foot candles. That's
I
right.
know.
Anybody
Dave's
that
gonna
knows-
measure his in lumens.
No,
okay?
anybody that knows anything about lighting.
He
It's
used that
foot
foot
candles is
candles.
the proper term.
Okay, now back to my question. What's next? I mean,
Hey, I'm just glad to be here. I just want to go to the horse shows and still get on a horse and show.
well, I mean, your granddaughter Haley, is she old enough to start riding Boomer
Yeah, she's-
yet? Maybe
well,
you hand Boomer down right down to her.
Well, and maybe in time, yeah. But yeah, we're not there yet though. She's not quite ready for Boomer.
Okay.
But maybe in a few years. Yeah,
A shout out to the kid without saying a swear word.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. You're doing
They
good.
can watch the show tonight.
You're doing
Yeah,
well.
you made
Yeah.
it through the whole thing, didn't you?
Yeah, that's
You're
good.
doing good.
We had a special request today from the Silvas to let us know if Gunny watches, you know,
And it
Watch
was
his
hard.
language.
his language a
It
little.
was
Keep it.
hard.
Keep it PG.
Tom said one swear word tonight. I did not.
I did.
Yep.
I didn't catch that.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
For what reason?
We can, because that's what I do.
For
What?
the granddaughter. For the group.
Yeah, for the granddaughter.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
for sure. For the granddaughter, we decided not to swear, but I forgot. Is that what happened?
So, I think that's what they're saying.
I don't
I
even
didn't hear it.
remember.
I don't
You
remember it
didn't,
either.
you didn't get the memo. Just me.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
hear
Just me.
myself
I'm the
swear.
foul
You're,
there.
Yeah.
you're more vocal.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're
yes.
more vocal.
My mic gets turned down too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at 10%.
More colorful
Sorry.
language.
I don't know if you noticed, but I like to touch and rub on my mic. I like to get right up on here and then be all up in the mic. See how far away your mic is? They can hear you just fine. I don't know why I get so close to it.
He loves his mic.
Oh,
He asked if he could take his mic home.
Yeah.
these mics are here because I campaign for these mics. Okay, feels more professional.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. Let's be fair. I asked Chelsea
Chelsea.
to get these mics, and she kind of didn't. I mean, she just didn't. And then Gunny asked for them.
And then you got them.
There they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's how you ask. You know? Stay even keel.
I know
Be
how
nice
you
to
asked.
people.
I heard how you asked, and we can't even ask that way again
Oh,
on
yeah,
this
you're right.
show.
We're on an anti-swear word show
Yeah.
tonight
Yeah.
Because of Haley.
because of Haley.
Because of Haley.
Shout
That's
out
right.
to Haley. Okay. We're gonna get you that pony someday. You know, that little pink one.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in again to the show. David, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks,
for
David.
having me.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was
Share,
fun.
like, comment, I think are the words you're supposed to say.
All
Yep.
those things. All those things.
Hey, yo, whoa, hey, I almost forgot, you guys. Remember last year we were promising we are going to give something away at the end of the year? We never did that.
Yeah, the next show we're gonna draw.
We're
Yeah.
drawing to
Yeah,
give some stuff away.
We already
next
got
show.
we got the lists already, and we got the names already. And the next show we're gonna do a drawing quick.
Yeah. That's the
Are
car.
we gonna give something to me?
No.
No,
I sure
I'm
like
gonna
to
give you.
comment.
I'm gonna
Yeah, no.
give you a raise, 10%.
10% raise, all right.
Yep.
Sweet.
All right, I can have 5 more cookies.